We are shaped by what our families had to do to survive. We are shaped by what our communities expected from us. We are shaped by the moments when someone corrected us, protected us, pushed us, or believed in us before we knew how to believe in ourselves. That was true for Willie Artis, and it was true for me. Now, I also don't want to romanticize the past. Sometimes when we talk about old neighborhoods, old communities, and how things used to be, we make them sound perfect. They were not perfect. They had pain, they had pressure, they had injustice, they had danger, they had disappointment, they had limitations, and so did the world Willie Artis came out of. Jim Crow was not character building by design. It was oppressive by design. Poverty was not noble by design. It was limiting by design. Racism was not an obstacle course meant to strengthen people. It was a system meant to deny people. So when we talk about resilience, we should never forget what people had to be resilient against. And that is what I see in Willie Artis' story. He came from a world that was not designed to make him a CEO. It was not designed to make him a founder. It was not designed to make him a philanthropist. It was not designed to make him a man whose name would be spoken with honor in Flint, Michigan. But he refused to be reduced by the design. He took what was meant to limit him and allowed it to sharpen him. That is one of the deepest connections between his story and mine. Not that our lives are the same, they are not. Not that our struggles were identical, they were not. But there is a rhythm in both stories. A young black man shaped by place, tested by circumstance, strengthened by work, guided by family, and eventually called to make his life useful to others. That is the bridge. And if I could summarize that bridge in one sentence, it would be this: survival alone is not enough. At some point, survival has to become service. That is one of the central lessons of Invincible. Again, from the book. It produced people who understood that survival alone was not enough. One had to become useful to others. That, to me, is Willie Artis. He survived, but he did not stop there. He worked, but he did not stop there. He built, but he did not stop there. He succeeded, but he did not stop there. He became useful. Useful to his family, useful to his employees, useful to Flint, useful to institutions, useful to future generations who now get to look at his life and say, that is what discipline can become. That is what work can become. That is what vision can become. That is what ownership can become. And that is where legacy begins. Legacy does not begin when people start praising you. Legacy begins when your life becomes useful beyond yourself. In America, we often confuse success with accumulation. We ask, how much did he make? How much did he own? How large was the company? How many people knew his name? Those things may matter, but they are not the deepest measure. The deeper question is, what did his success do? Did it create opportunity? Did it open doors? Did it strengthen family? Did it support community? Did it make institutions better? Did it show young people what was possible? Did it outlive him? In Willie Artis' case, the answer is yes. And that is why we are here. Because his life became larger than his personal achievement. It became public meaning. That is another place where Invincible connects with this day. The message of Invincible is not that one person simply overcame adversity. The deeper message is that lived experience can become public responsibility. That sentence names my own journey, and it names Willie Artis' legacy. Lived experience can become public responsibility. What you have lived through can become a tool. What you have survived can become wisdom. What you have learned can become instruction. What almost broke you can become the very thing that helps somebody else stand. That is the power of testimony. But testimony cannot remain performance. It has to become responsibility. It has to become leadership. It has to become mentorship. It has to become philanthropy. It has to become education. It has to become pathways. It has to become something somebody else can use. Willie Artis understood that. His life was just not a private victory. His life became public evidence. Evidence that a black man born under Jim Crow can build. Evidence that labor can become leadership. Evidence that discipline can become ownership. Evidence that ownership could become generosity. Evidence that success rooted in integrity could become legacy. And that word integrity is important because success without integrity is just accumulation. It may look impressive, but it does not bless anybody. Integrity is what turns success into legacy. Integrity is what makes people trust your name. Integrity is what allows your story to outlive your body. Integrity is what allows a community to gather years later and still speak your name with respect. And if we are honest, we need that kind of integrity right now in Flint, in Detroit, in Michigan, in America. We need builders with integrity. We need leaders with integrity. We need entrepreneurs with integrity. We need educators with integrity. We need public servants with integrity. We need men and women who understand that what you build matters, but how you build it matters too. Because Willie Artis did not simply build a business. He built credibility. He built relationships. He built opportunity. He built trust. He built something that stood in Flint and said, Black excellence is not theory. It is not a slogan. It is not a month on the calendar. It is payroll. It is discipline. It is innovation. It is ownership. It is giving. It is showing up. That to me is one of the most striking similarities between his story and mine. I have always believed that your life is not measured only by what you overcome. It is measured by what you decide to do after you overcome it. Because survival is necessary, but survival is not the end. At some point, survival has to become service. At some point, the testimony has to become a tool. At some point, the pain has to become a platform. At some point, the life you fought to protect has to become a life that protects others.